Behind all your stories is always your mother's story because yours is where yours begins. With this very beautiful lines, I begin the poem titled Night of the Scorpion by Nizam Ezekiel. The poet over here is a Jewish Indian. He lived at a time when we had a lot of superstitions going on in the country. Of course, even today we do have it. He goes on to make us reflect on two very important things. Number one is mother's incomparable love, never ending love. And secondly, the kind of village life that persists even today. It is in the form of a narration. It's an incident which took place when the poet was a small child, rather a small boy, I should say. And years later, he remembers that incident, probably because it had made a great impact on his mind. So when he grew up, he put forward these thoughts of his, or what he had experienced as a young boy, in the form of a poem, Night of the Scorpion. So let's hear and read what he has to say. I remember the night my mother was stung by a scorpion. 10 hours of steady rain had driven him to crawl beneath a sack of rice. Parting with his poison, flash of diabolic tail in the dark room, he risked the rain again. Now it goes on to tell us, the poet says that it was a very rainy, dark night. It was raining for hours together. And if you know that in the villages, even till date, they have always a room where they keep all stacked up grains for probably for a year or so. And so this scorpion, I hope we all know what a scorpion is. It's a very dangerous insect. If it bites, the poison can even cause death to a person. So this scorpion had taken shelter on this rainy day and had crawled inside this room out there and taken shelter beneath the sack of rice. And mother probably had come to this room maybe to take some rice or something else in that dark room, and the scorpion got so frightened hearing the footsteps. Or probably her leg must have fallen on part of his tail. That to escape himself, to save himself, the scorpion unknowingly bit the mother. Right? Bit the mother. It's called, the tail is described as a diabolic tail, devilish, something very evil. That shows how much the poet is angry for what the scorpion did towards his mother. The peasants came like swarms of flies and buzzed the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one. Now, since the poet was living in a village, with the cry of the mother made all the peasants, the farmers who were there, they all came running. They all came to help, and they came like swarms of flies. Swarms of flies in many, in numbers. And what did they start doing? Remember, we are living, or he was living at a time when there was a lot of superstition. Going to a doctor was very rare even in those days. So they all started chanting, buzzing the name of God. They kept on calling out to God, and they cried out loudly towards God to heal this lady who has been bitten by this poisonous scorpion, so that by chanting God's name, they thought they would paralyze the evil one. The scorpion would die. With candles and with lanterns, throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud baked walls, they searched for him. He was not found. They clicked their tongues with every movement that the scorpion made. His poison moved in mother's blood. Okay, mother. Alright, so what did they do? They all came. There is no electricity. It's rural India. So they all had come with candles and lanterns, and because of that, since it was dark, the shadows could be seen on the walls, the mud baked walls. And they kept on searching for the scorpion, and they clicked their tongues, and started making those sounds which would make the scorpion come out of its hiding place. Alright? And with every moment, the scorpion made his poison move in mother's blood. But all these things did not help because they were not treating mother. Right? Instead of doing that, they were chanting. And mother, the poison was moving faster in mother's blood. They said, "May he sit still." They said, "May the sins of your previous birth be burnt away tonight." They said, "May your suffering decrease, the misfortunes of your next birth." See how superstitious they are. What they kept on chanting, they kept on saying all these things that God, please forgive this lady's sins. The sins of her previous birth, may they all burn away. And may she not suffer. Take care of her that she does not suffer. See that all her misfortunes of the next birth also are burnt. Okay, so instead of treating the person out over there, they are all only chanting and thinking that probably this chanting will help mother. They said, "May the sum of all evil balanced in this unreal world against the sum of good." So they started cursing all the evil that is taking place in the world and prayed to God that whatever goodness is left in this world, may that help this lady to get cured. Balanced in this unreal world against the sum of good become diminished by your pain. Diminished, lessened, decreased. May the poison purify your flesh of desire. So it says, whatever your cravings are, whatever you want to do, whatever your temptations are, may the poison take away all. So this is what they are praying for the lady. And your spirit of ambition, they said. And they sat around on the floor with my mother in the center. The peace of understanding on each face. So they said all ambition of this lady, all cravings, all desires, may everything get burnt out over here. May the poison take away everything. This is what they were praying. And mother was, poor thing, crying out of pain, sitting there in the center. And they were doing this very peacefully, not worried of that lady who is suffering so much. So class, let us mark now the figures of speech of what I have done of this page. See the second line, was stung by a scorpion. It will be alliteration. You have sound of letter S repeated twice. Come a little lower down in the same stanza. Parting with his poison, again alliteration, sound of letter P repeated. Next stanza, the peasants came like swarms of flies. Simile, because over here the swarms of flies have been compared to the peasants. So peasants are compared over here to the swarms of flies. And buzzed the name of God 100 times. Over here you have two figures of speech. Either it is onomatopoeia because you have this sound of buzzing there, or it's even hyperbole or hyperbole as you may call, because over here it's an exaggerated statement since it says they chanted God's name 100 times. Come a little lower down, you have they clicked their tongues. It's again onomatopoeia because clicking of tongues creates noise and therefore there is sound in it, so it is onomatopoeia. Alright, now if you look at the entire part, all the stanzas out over here, class, you will find out that there is no rhyme scheme at all. Hence, the entire poem is called as a free verse because there are no rhyming words or rhyme scheme. Let's continue, class. More candles, more lanterns, more neighbors, more insects, and the endless rain. My mother twisted through and through, groaning on a mat. So more and more peasants, more and more neighbors started coming in, and because of that, more insects came in because it was raining heavily. So every time the door opened and closed, more of insects were coming in, and it was pouring heavily outside there. And mother was groaning, crying out of pain. Okay, let's continue. My father, skeptic, rationalist, trying every curse and blessing, powder, mixture, herb, and hybrid. Meantime, the poet's father is out there. Of course, he doesn't like what is happening because he is a man who is a rationalist. A rationalist, a one who believes in science, one who has knowledge about things. And he was a skeptic person, skeptic, a non-believer in all these superstitions or the chanting that was going on. So even then he kept quiet, and he in his own way was trying to help his wife out. So he made certain mixtures of herbs and hybrids, which are again mixtures, and tried to apply it to the place where the scorpion had bitten. He even poured a little paraffin upon the bitten toe and put a match to it. I watched the flame feeding on my mother. I watched the holy man perform his rites to tame the poison with an incantation. After 20 hours, it's lost its sting. So, father even made little paraffin, that is melted wax, and he poured it on the toe so that that place where the poison was would decrease because of the wax. And in all that, mother was going through all this pain. The people out there, the holy men, or whatever you may call it, the priest who had come out there, the religious people, they were keeping on saying all kind of mantras and rites so that they would and all incantations are magical words. But after all this, only it was after 20 hours that the sting disappeared, that the poison moved out of mother's body, and she felt much better. My mother only said, "Thank God the scorpion picked on me and spared my children." How beautiful the three lines are, class. She said at the end, she was not worried of the pain she went. She was not worried about that chanting and all that noise that was going on. She was not worried of the burnt marks that she got because of the melted burnt wax which her husband had poured on her toe to cure it. She was more worried that thank God her children were not bitten by that scorpion. And this is exactly what a mother's love is, class. Parents are always that way. They don't mind whatever happens to them, but they never want their children to go through any difficulties or pain. So, this is the prayer they always have for their children, that whatever happens, let it happen to them, not to their children. We should always remember this throughout our life. Let's mark the figures of speech out over here. More candles, more lanterns, more neighbors. It's repetition. You have the word more repeated out there. Next, my mother twisted through and through. Again, it is repetition. You have through repeated there twice. Groaning on a mat. Onomatopoeia, sound is there in that word groaning, crying sound. A little lower down, he even poured a little paraffin. Alliteration, sound of alphabet P repeated there twice. Okay, class, so let's take home this message that we should always respect and love our parents. Never forget that in our life. Secondly, do not believe in any superstitions. Science has gone way beyond. Let's be more broad minded. With this message, I end my this poem.